Chip Smith, this portrait you did of Rooster, my gosh, it's etched in my mind because I love it so much. That's why I did it. When you gave it to me, I was like, this is something I want to put on my wall. So it's upstairs in my house, but I had to get an enlargement done. And look how well it turned out.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it just gorgeous?
Yeah.
Well, tell me about what the history of this and how that came to be.
Well, Roosevelt lived right next door to me. He lived at Oliver's Lodge from the time he was 9 years old until he was 69.
Oh, wow.
And I lived right next door in the what they call the garage apartment or the tree house behind King's Crest, right on the creek. So we were best friends, had coffee every day. And in the course of things I did, I wrote a profile of him for the Low Country Companion years ago, and I illustrated it with a 4x5, which is a large format. The negative is this big, 4 inches by 5 inches. It's an old kind of camera with the bellows where you put the cloth over your head to focus it. And I made this portrait of him over on the back porch at Oliver's. He was sitting in one of their old dining room chairs, and we were just chatting, and you know, it takes 10 to 15 minutes to make a picture with a camera like that.
Yeah.
You know, and so in the course of things, I made several exposures while we were talking, and I mean, with Roosevelt and he's wearing a Gamecocks denim shirt.
It's just classic. It's a classic photo. And when I first met him, he was out in the creek gathering oysters and clams. And he did that for years and years and years, and up until the latter part of his life. So did he talk to you about some of those times when he was out there in Inlet?
Oh yeah, he said that his uncle Jerry was the creek man for Oliver's Lodge.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense.
And in those days, they had kind of a sort of a dormitory behind the restaurant where some of the help lived. Okay. And Roosevelt's uncle Jerry lived back there. And Roosevelt learned his creek craft from his mother, and she would take him with her. He was her firstborn. And her nickname she had an animal nickname for all of her children. Roosevelt was Rooster, and she would take him with her when she worked in the creek, and she and Roosevelt supplied a lot of the shellfish to Oliver's Lodge in those days. And his family life was pretty rough. He wouldn't say a lot about his father, except that he never really understood him. But his father was evidently difficult to get along with, to put it mildly. And Roosevelt wound up being taken in by the Olivers and you know, lived there. At 9 years old, he went to live in the dormitory with his Uncle Jerry at Oliver's, and ended up living there until he was 69. So he was kind of a child of two worlds at the time, growing up in Murrells Inlet. He went to what then was called the colored school, the Brook Green School.
Oh yeah, Brook Green.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And, Archer Huntington, he built that for all the people that lived on the property, basically, and those that were in Murrells Inlet.
Right.
Well, I want to appreciate you coming and telling us more about this awesome image, and we appreciate you being here. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Paul.
All right.